folks, this morning I'm out in the kayak and I'm pretty pumped to be fishing something new from ZMan, the ZMan drop kickers. So this morning I want to talk to you about how I'm rigging this little plastic, how I'm fishing it, and also why I think this is going to be a deadly plastic for a ton of species in the fresh and in the salt. Buckle up. Alright, it's a bit of an average morning this morning, a bit of wind and a bit of rain. I've already got a nice tailer on the drop kickers to kick things off, so that was pretty cool. And now I'm basically just drifting with the run out tide and I'm casting ahead of me, so it's a bit, whoa, dugong. How's that? Big dugong just there. Scared the absolute crap out of me. Oh, good morning dugong on the flats. So as I was saying this morning, it's a bit windy, a bit rainy. I'm just using the wind to push me along the bank here, throwing big long casts with the wind, and I'm just keeping this plastic up a little off the bottom because it's a bit weedy. If I see a sand patch, I'm letting it hit the bottom, and I'm just covering water. So already got that nice tailer to kick things off, but I didn't have the camera going because it was raining, but that was a nice fish. So just as I thought, this thing is going to catch a variety of species. It's just a beautiful little baitfish profile, and I'll talk to you more about the design of it and the tail and that sort of thing once we get further along and catch ourselves a couple of fish. But first thing we want to do is get this thing out there and see what's going to eat it. Nice little weed edge I can see in here. I'll get that platy in on that weed edge and just hop it back out. Gonna have to deal with a bit of wind today, unfortunately. It's blowing a different direction to forecast, so it's going to mess with us a bit, mess with the sound, that's for sure. Oh, there's a tap. What were you? Might have been a brimbo, I think. Let's turn us around a little here so I can cast along that weed edge. Looks pretty fishy, that's for sure. I don't mind these days, you know, the weather doesn't have to be good to catch fish, that's for sure. So on a day like this, it's overcast skies, so less visibility. We're on. Less visibility when it's overcast like this, so the fish can't see you as easily, especially when fishing shallows like I am here. I'm up fishing the flats. Speaking of flats, that's a little flat fish. Come on, buddy. Oh, we might put the net under him because I think he's scoffed that drop kickers. Well, get in the net, mate. Little flatty to kick things off along this weed edge. Alright, we'll get him out. Might have to retie our leader. I'm just going to grab him in between those two sets of fins so his spikes don't get me. Don't want to get those spikes. And he liked the look of that drop kickers. He's inhaled it. See you, little bloke. Our drop kickers. Beautiful little tail on there. It's actually a wedge-shaped tail, so that gives it plenty of action at a wide range of retrieve speeds. From what I've seen of it fishing it so far, I'm going to call it the no-brainer plastic, because it doesn't matter how you retrieve it, fish are going to eat it. It's got a really worm-like tail, and then it's got that paddle tail, so when it's paddling, looks like a little bait fish. When it stops on the bottom, it's like a real little wormy looking tail. It's going to be super attractive to the fish. So yeah, pretty excited about it actually. Five minutes on the drop kickers, we've got our, oh, there's a bite, yeah. 5 minutes on the drop kickers, we've got ourselves a tailer and a flatty, and there's another flatty off that weed edge. Ah, it's a nice looking fish too. Come on, mate, in the net, in the net, in the net, get in there. Beautiful. Oh, there's a nice little flat fish. Scoff the drop kickers. Might put him, oh no, we'll grab him. I was going to put him on, oh no, we might put him on the lip. Oh, 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 oh. Wow, there's a bit of mayhem for you. He's still got a hold of the drop kicker's tail, but he's off the hook. You can see that ZMan 10 times tough elastic there. That's hilarious. He's still got that wedge-shaped tail in his gob. Come on, out you come. But it's 10 times tough elastic, so there it comes. There we go. So we got our drop kickers back out of that flatty. That beautiful wedge-shaped tail. Any sort of retrieve you do, it responds well to. When it's on the bottom, it's really worm-like, real wormy looking thing. So they come in and just, like he did, he just ate it sitting on the bottom. And when you wind it, that little wedge-shaped tail gets swimming like a little bait fish. So absolute beautiful little presentation. 2.75 inch, so a great all-rounder for the river and estuary type fishing that I love to do. All right, I'll get this guy sorted out off the floor here and we'll get back into it. Don't know if you can see, we'll try and see it. It's not real good light, but that wedge-shaped tail has a beautiful little bead in the water. So the wedge-shaped tail, really tight little shimmy in the water, looks like a small bait fish. So I think it's going to be a great, for me, sort of prospecting bait, just for working the flats really fast and that sort of thing. I love fishing fast across the flats. So it's going to be great for covering water with that swimming action of that tail. But it's also going to be super good for those fishing around structure and fishing with minimal movement, just shaking and using that worm-like shape of the tail with that bulbous end. Oh yeah, there we go, there's another one just sitting on the bottom and he's eating that again. So as I was saying, he's only a little fella, but as I was saying, that you can use that tail for prospecting and covering water, or that worm-like, settle down mate, just a little guy, I'll see you buddy. Yeah, so you can use that paddle action to cover water on the flats, or you can fish it around structure and fish it slow and use that worm-like action. So it's almost like two plastics in one. It's a super versatile thing. We've got a few fish in quick time, that's for sure. So first up this morning, while the tide's sort of about halfway down and there's a bit of water here and the wind, I'm fishing a 1/4 ounce jighead. So 1/4 ounce 1/0 I'm fishing in this 2.75 inch drop kickers, and that's giving me a nice long cast, and even with the drift I'm getting to the bottom quick so I can be down there where the fish are. If it's weedy, I'm rolling it over the top and twitching it. If it's sandy, which I'm pretty much hitting sand edges, I'm allowing it to fall to the bottom and I'm just giving it a bit of a shake. Cool thing is they're eating it really well off the bottom, so it doesn't hurt to give it a bit of a pause down there as well. So a nice cast into that weed edge there. So nice sandy bottom with a weed edge, giving it a few shakes, let it hit the bottom again, give it a few shakes. But yeah, they've been picking it up on that pause. Yep, there we go, that one was on the roll, missed him. Pretty exciting start. Yep, there we go. There we go, up in the shallows, that one. He's fired up. Just fishing 1 to 3 kilo gear, great fun. Finesse plastics, 1 to 3 kilo TT red belly, Ceymar HD 1000, 6 pound Platypus Pulse X8 braid, and I've actually got 15 pound leader on today because there's been a few big flatties and tailor around. That's what we've got there, a tailor. Tailor getting in on the action right up in the shallows. He'd be hassling bait up in there. There you go. Only a little fella, chunky though. So we'll get him off and send him. Might have to give I'll give this one a couple more casts, then we'll change the colour up. Chunky little tail. We just came across a nice current line here. Fish love a current line, so there's a current line coming off the flats here. So I might try and work this current line a bit. We'll see what's holding up in here. fishing back up into this current line. Let's see if there's a few fish. Yep, there's another one. Let's see, there might be a few tailor holding in this current line. Let's hope he's a bit bigger than that last one. If he is a tailor, he could be a Brembo. He is a Brembo. Only a little tacker, but there's another species. Another species. Oh. Beautiful. Brim, flathead, tailor. Can't argue with that. Straight up on this new little ZMan plucky. Might be a few fish holding on this current line. Great thing with the Hobie, with minimal effort, I can hold in this current line and just keep fishing it, rather than paddle up, get one cast, drift back, paddle up, get one cast. I can just pedal gently and keep myself in that zone where the fish are. There's another bite. Right up on that edge. Yep, he just ate it off the bottom. That is so good. This little plastic's gonna slay. That was just eaten off the bottom. Oh, it feels pretty solid too. What are you? What are you, buddy? Oh, that's a bit better, Brim. Angry in this healthy winter condition that they're in, they're angry. That's for sure. There we go. Another nice little Brim. Might be a school of them on this edge here. I'm loving that. Drop kickers. Oh yeah, rattle straight up. Come on, buddy. Oh, look at him eating it. Come on, eat it, yep. That is so good. Oh, he tapped away at it, I just paused it and he just ate it. That's cool. What are you, Brembo? Oh, nice, Brim. Chunk. There you go. There's a solid Brim. Solid Brim off the edge there. On that drop kickers. Nice fish. Alright. So far so good. I think this one's going to be a really good one for the tournament guys, because it's getting eaten on the quicker retrieve, it's getting eaten on the slower retrieve, and when I dead stick it as well, they're eating it. There we go. There's another fish. So they're responding to a lot of different retrieves with it. Oh, that's a solid fish, whatever that is. Yeah, fast retrieve, slow retrieve, or even just dead sticked on the bottom. Those fish are all over it. Just got a bit of weight to it. What are you, buddy? Oh, that is a tank of a Brim. Oh, look at that thing. That's a good fish. That is a good fish. ZMan drop kickers, chunk of Brim. That is an absolute chunk. What a nice fish. He has scoffed that drop kickers. That is so good. Alright, how cool was that? Fishing this edge. I just said I reckon this would be a dynamite presentation for the Brim tournament guys. And then boom, we catch a chunk of a Brim. So that was pretty cool. That was a good fish. Hopefully he's got a couple of mates. Oh, they're straight on again. They're loving this thing. They're just, oh, they're picking it up so well. Feels like another good fish. Oh, feels like another cracker. Oh, oh that is. Oh, that's another nice bream. Yep. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, look at that guy. Not as big as that last one, but that's still a chunk of a bream. Bream tournament dudes. Make sure you check out this guy, Drop Kickers. Reckon he's going to be a brilliant one for you. Oh, fish on straight away. Oh, whacked it. Feels pretty solid, that thing. What are you, tank? What are you? Feels like a pretty good fish. Oh, that's a giant bream. What a beast on the Drop Kickers. Have a look at that thing. That's a stonker fish on the Drop Kickers. He's a really healthy 35. Look at that thing. What a tank. Righto, we're gonna have a colour change. We absolutely smashed them on that shiner colour. So we're gonna run the Gussie's Glimmer colour. Looks pretty nice. Really good bait fishy sort of colour, or even jelly prawn sort of colour. These guys are nice and soft, good bulk in the head. They actually rig really well, so they rig really easily. You can see that awesome body on it there. It's like a really soft natural feel, holds scent well. It's got a little rigging slot in the top which makes it easy to get it nice and straight, and it's got good bulk in the head, so it sits on the jighead well. And then we've got that, yeah, beautiful body shape and that tail that's doing all the damage. So I'll put a little bit of scent on there. We'll go see if we can get something on Gussie's Glimmer colour. Looks pretty nice. Natural bait fish, jelly prawn, fish on. Oh yeah, fish on. Eating off the bottom again. Oh man, I love it when they eat it off the bottom. Feels pretty solid. What are you, fish? Oh, nice flatty. Nice flatty. Beautiful fish. There we go. Flatties and Brimbos and Taylor. That was the changeover to Gussie's Glimmer. Handy tip with your TT floating lip grips. You can just open them up and clip them on anywhere. It's so good in your yak, you just clip them on. This guy has dropped them. Alright, there we go. There's a nice flatty on the Gussie's Glimmer colour in the 2.75 inch drop kickers from ZMan. It's going to be a dynamite plucky for you guys fishing the river and estuary, that's for sure. Yeah. What are you? You drilled it. Oh, you're a weapon. You're a big flat roll. Man, they are loving it. Righto, lip grip's on. There is a Gussie's Glimmer in there. There we go. Look at that thing. That is beautiful. Oh, that is a nice flatty. What a beautiful fish. Having an absolute ball on the ZMan drop kickers 2.75 inch. What a session. Absolutely loving it. The great thing about an edge like this where water's flowing over this edge as it drops off a big large flat area is that the area will keep replenishing. Fish will keep coming off the flat and holding on the drop off, so it allows us to work the area a bit more thoroughly compared to areas where the fish might be just transitioning through and leave quickly. They might only be there for a certain section of the tide. There should be fish transitioning off this flat throughout the run out tide, so we can pretty much work this edge as we've done for quite a while. Just keep plugging away and hopefully we find ourselves a nice mixed bag of species. Super impressed with this plastic. I love the tail in the water. This thing looks amazing. And the cool thing is it's catching them if I'm fishing it fast, it's catching it if I'm popping, and it's also catching on the dead stick when I'm just pausing it and the fish is picking it up off the bottom. So that's a great sign that it's going to be a very, very versatile presentation and catch a lot of different species for you guys. Yep. I was a bit slow on that one. I don't know if you picked up on the big clunk that I got and then finally landed it. Finally hooked it. Again, that was just a clunk on the bottom, big clunk on the bottom. Another nice flatty. Beautiful. Man, I tell you what, do yourself a favour. I was really impressed with how these guys looked out of the packet. I was impressed how they rigged on that 1/4 ounce 1.0. They look beautiful, but I'm absolutely blown away at how well the fish are eating these things on every retrieve. I don't know if I've had a plastic blow me away this much first time I fished it. That is crazy. That is another nice flatty on Gussie's Glimmer. So there you go, that lure's out of there. Oh, come here. So there you go, that. I'm going to call it a hybrid plastic. You know, it's a very, very versatile option. Epic profile. I really love these cutaways on the body. I don't know if you can see it there. Either side of the plastic there's a cutaway, and I think that's making the hookup rate really, really good and sort of turning the hook into the fish when they eat it. It's got that wormy tail. It's got that wedge-shaped tail that gives us that paddling action, and that nice rib sort of body that holds scent well and feels realistic as well. So yeah, really, really ripper plastic. Make sure you check them out. They are gold. Oh, just on the paws again. Cast it, it was just sitting on the bottom. This fish is coming eating it. That's brilliant. Oh, it's another nice flatty. Oh, tell you what, shock and awe today. Just such a good session on that new plastic from ZMan, that 2.75 inch drop kickers. Just working the flats and working a drop off on the edge of a flat, and these fish have been loving it. When that water was a little bit higher, we were whacking the Bream, and now these flatties are dropping off the flat and they are fired up too. That is a beautiful healthy flatty. In the net, buddy, in the net. He's in there, he's in there. There you go, you can see that drop kickers there. So I cast that out and I was pretty much doing nothing. It was sitting on the bottom and I was just messing around getting ready to set up for the retrieve, and this guy has just picked it up off the bottom. So that is an excellent little session, that's for sure. So that's another nice flatty, and that's the Gussie's Glimmer colour again. Let's take a closer look at this guy. All right, there you go, folks. There's another nice flatty on that Gussie's Glimmer colour. So super stoked. What an absolute cracker session. So that was my first time in the yak throwing the ZMan drop kickers. That's the 2.75 inch. We flicked the Shiner colour and the Gussie's Glimmer colour on a 1/4 ounce 10 TT Headlock's Finesse Jighead, and what an absolute cracker session. So that blew my expectations of this plastic out of the water. I really loved it. Out of the packet, it looked great. It rigs super well on a 1/4 ounce 10, looks beautiful. In the water, the action is great on the hop, on the pause, and when you're slow rolling it. So I thought the fish would eat it, but this morning, wow, what a session. We smacked some cracker bream as that tide was dropping off the flats, and then we finished the session with a bunch of flatties off the edge of that flat. So that's it for me. I'm going to pack it up. The fish is still biting, but I got rained on. It's pretty chilly, so I'm going to pack it in, go home and cook myself a hot brekkie. But I'm pretty stoked with that epic session on the ZMan 2.75.